replay, thank you for being here. We appreciate you more than you know. Please like, subscribe, share. Oh, man. Make sure you watch some of our videos. We've got a lot of great content out there for pretty much everybody. And if you want to become a member, that'd be great. If you want to support our efforts to grow our channel and to provide you great content, we do have a PayPal account link on the front of our YouTube channel page there, my friends. So we're not going to get too excited here for a few minutes. We're going to let people kind of get in here. And then we'll kind of get excited and talk about things. We'll talk about anything you want. You can ask questions, propose scenarios, give your opinion. All of those good things are possible on my channel. So, yes, we try very hard to be an open format channel as long as everybody is polite. For the most part. But you can have your own opinions. So some shocking news in the world today. The Hulk Hogan guy passed away, Terry. So we thank you all for being here. And I don't know, I thought we'd talk about Hulk Hogan, right? Kind of a shock to me. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it kind of is, you know. I mean, I know he's old, or was old. It was getting up there in age. And so, but it makes you kind of, you know, think, wow. A lot of celebrity deaths, it seems, you know, but, oh, man. Kind of crazy. But like I said, we'll kind of wait, give it a chance for everybody to get in here and talk about this. Let me get over here. I got to do some housekeeping work. All right. Well, it's a scorcher of a day today. It is hot. Thank you guys all for being here. It is definitely a warm day in my part of the world. Cooper, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh, let's see. We got Austin. Cooper, nice to have you. I'm going to let me read the chat here. Yo, what's up? I'm your biggest fan. Appreciate that. We got Austin Trammell. He's trying to say I'm fat. Now, here, I want to show everybody because it doesn't bother me. I got a feeling Austin has a problem with people with weight. So maybe he's overweight himself. Austin, here's what I'm going to tell you. Look, it's okay to be fat. It's okay to be ugly. It's okay to have a small penis and live in your mama's basement. It's okay. We accept everybody on this channel, including you. Yay, Frosty, yes. So does anybody remember Hulk Hogan? That's what we're going to try to talk about today. A little bit about Hulk Hogan, our memories. Kind of a shocking thing, but it really shouldn't be, right? So everybody's saying hello to each other, by the way. Thank you for doing that. Let me get over here and pull this up so I can read the chat a little bit better. I always seem to be able to read it better on a bigger screen than the little bitty thing. So yay, Frosty, yes. So you are local, says hello. Pat's in the house. Good evening, Pat. How are you? Good to see you, my friend. What's going on? How are you? That was a motivational speech right there. You like that? I appreciate that. You're local. So, woo, it's a little hot in my office today, so I might take my hat off and on. But I don't know. You know, thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, and the super chats if you want to do that. We're open to taking your super chats. Enjoying this hot weather. Yeah, it's about 96 and 97 degrees. I did a little bit of work in the garage a few minutes ago, so I'm a little hot. But, yeah, you know, I don't know. Working on planning a cruise. Pat, you know, I've been studying some of that. We've been doing some other thing. Your local says from the UK. Outstanding. And the YK, 230. Yeah, it's hot here, man. We're in a dry spell right now, which is fine because we've had so much rain, it's unbelievable. So, and guys, if you see me looking over here, over there, don't feel bad. That's where my big screen is, where I can read the chat easier. So, Pat, good to have everybody say hello to each other. So, yeah, how do you guys feel? Do you know who Hulk Hogan was? I mean, it's been kind of a weird week for celebrities. They always talk about how it comes into threes. We had 3 celebrities die this week. Ozzy Osbourne. I can't remember the other guy named Jamil from the Cosby Show. I liked him. And then Hogan today at 71. Meme is in the house. What's up, fans? Hey, how are ya? Good to see ya. Everybody saying hello. Pat says frosty. Frosty. We've got COVID going around, and I've got slightly, Well, I hope you take care of yourself. Make sure you have plenty of vitamin C on hand. All of that good stuff is all I can tell you to do. Crap. My wife keeps putting, if you guys got a wife, anybody got a wife? My wife keeps coming into my office on my desk and putting stuff on my desk. So every time I move something, so I said hello. Oliver's in the house. How are you? Good to see you. Pat saying hello to everybody, which I appreciate. Got a beautiful tropical shirt on today. My wife needs to do a little button sewing. I got a button missing. Well, that's okay. I got this on a cruise to Aruba a few years ago. Crap. I haven't got to wear it very much. So even though it's missing a button, I'm going to wear it today. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do what I want to do. Man, our day's going good. It's been busy. Thank you for the thumbs up, Daniel. Appreciate that. Hello, Pat, Oliver says. So, yeah, Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne. Wow, what a trip. We knew Ozzy Osbourne was in the decline the last couple of years. We all knew that. Nothing surprising there, right? I guess Hogan died of a heart attack this morning, is what the news medias and outlets are saying. At 71 years of age at his home down in, where did he live? Down in Florida at Clearwater, if I remember right, where the Scientology people are, outside of Tampa. So that's where he's living and from for all these years. So, which is kind of, weird going on, but yeah, Clearwater, Florida. Responded to his house at 9:51 a.m. Thursday morning. And Clearwater, nature of the call was for a heart attack. Hogan was treated by Clearwater Fire and Rescue before taken to Sunstar Hospital, where he's pronounced deceased. So that's what's happening today with him. Sad about Ozzy. Yeah, Ozzy, we kind of knew that, but yeah, it's always sad. Let me get back over here so I can read the chat a little bit. Sorry, guys. Adrian's in the house. Hello. Everybody say hello. Thank you all for the thumbs up. If you're new to me, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Daniel, guys, thank you. Steve and Tina, how are you? Steve and Tina, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thumbs up, appreciate that. Eden Mania from Indy. Woohoo! I came close to meeting Hogan and other wrestlers in Indianapolis, Indiana. Nice. I got to admit, never been to a pro wrestling show in my wrestling. Never been to a wrestling event or show in my life. I don't like people that much, so I don't get out like that. But I think about, because, he was so popular when I was a younger man. So I was, he's older than I am by a good 20-something years, right? But growing up in junior high and high school, he was the man, the myth, the legend. Like Harley Race and Andre Giant and all these other guys that we all grew up with, right? And I do believe, whether you like them or not, whether the steroids an issue or not, or any of that garbage that goes on, it is all about entertainment. None of it was real. I do believe that he changed their industry. He made professional wrestling into a gigantic business. I really believe, and I know Vince McMahon and all of that, the whole story behind that. And there's a documentary on, I think, Netflix about Vince McMahon that you guys ought to watch. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I do think that if it wasn't for him, even with Vince being involved, the wrestling industry would have never taken off like it did. So, Pat says, yes, there is, right. Yeah, Pat, I appreciate that. Because I really think he came along at the right time. He did the right spill and pitch. Eat your vitamins. I can't remember the rest of it. Eat your vitamins. Grow up big and strong. He did the whole Ozzy, Cosby, yes, and Hogan all in the same week, which is kind of weird. The Cosby boy, Walker, I think his name was Jamal, 54 years of age, drowned in Costa Rica. That always has to suck at that age. Remember, guys, it's all a Hollywood show, all of them. Yeah, wrestling is not real. It is scripted entertainment, right? But I will say this, Meme and others, I think a lot of times you got to be a hell of an athlete to be a professional wrestler. And because, you got to do that whole wrestler thing in it. Catherine, can you say hi to Catherine and Brianna? Yes, we're huge fans. Thank you. Everybody say hello to Catherine. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Thank you all. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, liking, thumbs up, and all the super chats. Dennis, it's real and the world is flat. That's right. But growing up, there was a time when we were kids that we thought wrestling was real. We thought the drama, we did. Scripted entertainment, but that's what we thought. And, it's kind of like believing in Santa Claus, right? So that's kind of a cool thing. But as we got older, we learned pretty quickly that, it's a bunch of drug using, alcoholic, athletes beating the snot shit out of each other for money. So wrestling is hard on the body. Yes. Oh, anytime, Catherine. We're glad you're here. Thank you for that. Everybody say hello to Catherine, by the way. Hulk Hogan was in rough shape. Well, he's 71. He's 71 years old. I didn't realize he was that old. That's right. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan from Levi. Yeah. So what did you guys think of Hogan, though? Do you think he was a good guy? Not, I'm talking about as a human being, not as a wrestler. You think he was a good guy? I know he had a lot of problems with his children. And he had a couple ex-wives, I think, which were all funny because they all kind of look alike. You know what I mean? His ex-wives all look alike. His children look, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Drugs are bad. Yes, drugs are bad. And there is so many professional wrestlers who died from drug overload, so to speak, right? From drug abuse, heart failure at such a young age. And I guess in one way, we kind of got to be shocked that Hogan lived to be 71 years old. I'm really surprised he made it that old. And then on the other hand, I'm kind of surprised that Ozzy Osbourne lived to be, how old was Ozzy? Ozzy was in his 70s, right? And how in the hell is Keith Richards still alive? With all the drug use that they went through in their lives. Cameron Harris, thumbs up to the greatest of all times. That's right. Fever, NWO Fever. Yes, remember when they did all that NWO, New World Order crap? But I think he came around, eat your vitamins and I can't remember the rest. Anybody remember what his saying was? Come on, throw it out there. Something about take your vitamins or eat your vitamins and, And I think it was the time that resonated with young people and before social media, and you can make cute little cartoons, but it was truly an opportunity to sell merchandise, right? And we all know that, and that's okay. Let me see. Pat says, I have met some professional wrestlers before during my time. Wrestling person had some friends in wrestling business question asking wrestler if it's fake. Yes, it's fake. It's scripted. It's not fake. Let me say this, Pat. like I said a second ago, look, they're, whether you know, them little boys are athletes. I couldn't do what they could do. I mean, I did some tough man contests as a young man. I couldn't even imagine being a professional wrestler, going through the heart, I just couldn't do it. All of them old boys have to be some badass old boys and girls because it's so tough on the body. I just couldn't, you know, football players say how great of athletes they are. Now, I want to say that these people work harder than football players. One wrestler told me he can have a real accident in professional wrestling. Yes. She's dying from overdose, tracked by Tom Crab. He's already dead. Oh, no. So, you're a funny meme. What are you doing, by the way? How are you, and what are you doing? So, I want to give credit to all of these people that do it because, one, I couldn't do it. Most of us out there couldn't do it. And you got to look and think what great athletes they were in their own right. Now, yes, a lot of them had an issue with steroids, and they may have a lot of these matches may have been fueled by illegal drugs, to get them hyped up. And to mask the pain that they were in was to do their jobs. But still, who's your favorite wrestler? Do if you guys were into the wrestling world, who was your favorite? Do you have a favorite good guy and a favorite bad guy? So, who was your overall favorite? Did I see Dennis in the house? I did. Dennis, how are you? How's the land of Canadian? You guys have a bunch of Canadian cripplers up there in the land of Canada. Enjoying your South-made spring rolls? We like spring rolls. It's a lot of work. Yes, delicious. We like spring rolls too, buddy. Spring rolls! Give it up for spring rolls. We like them too. I had some lumpia earlier today. So, that's what I had. I don't know, man. And but I got to admit, after I thought about it today, I got to admit, I think I'm a little shocked that Hulk Hogan lived to be 71 years old with his alcohol abuse and drug abuse, steroid abuse, and the physical abuse. I gotta stop and go, man, I'm kind of shocked that his heart didn't give out 25 years ago, right? But, it's good to do. Osby Cosby, I just subscribed. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We need all the love, support we can help and we can get. We're on our mission to buy my wife a house. So we need all the love and help we can get so I can buy my beautiful wife a house, is what our goal is. I wonder, the last few years, I know his kid, I can't remember his kid's name, was arrested for drunk driving again. And I remember he was in that accident that crippled his friend. Remember that years ago, like in a yellow Viper? He was racing around in Florida and crippled his friend and went to jail for that. Or maybe he killed his friend, I can't remember. But I had to pay out, I think he crippled him. Had to pay out millions of dollars to his friends. Pat says, I like Hulk Hogan, I like Demolition X, Smash, all the other wrestlers, just good old wrestlers. Plan on going to stay in the Philippines because I told you can live cheap. Well, you can. You can live cheap in the Philippines, but you can also blow every dollar you got if you're not careful, my friend. So what do you consider cheap? What have you been hearing? And on this channel, I will tell you the honest God truth about living in the Philippines. We don't sugarcoat it here. We're not going to fluff and puff and feed you bullshit. I'm going to tell you what I know, and I know a lot. All right? So if you tell me what you think is cheap and what part of the Philippines. Messenger Hulk Hogan said, eat your vitamins and say your, that's what it was. Eat your vitamins and say your prayers. Take that, talk about my hat, butthead? I ain't taking my hat off. Pfft. What, are you jealous? Look, all right. I understand that not all of you guys out there can look as good as me, but you don't don't be jealous. It'll be okay. You know, I know a lot of you guys can't afford styling and profiling like Ric Flair. I know you guys don't know how to dress. And I understand that because I see that a lot. But you don't got to be jealous about it, all right? If you maybe take a little bit of time, one, take a shower, clean yourself up, maybe then you can, dress nice. Just put some effort into it, all right? Don't be ashamed of yourself. Respect Brother David channel, folks. Remember, we know nothing. Woohoo! 800, 1,000 per month rent to live decent. What I know is nothing. I know your German leader, your Sergeant Schultz. Tim's in the house. Good evening, Pack. Thank you for being here, Tim. 800. You can, but you gotta. You can't live. I'm not, Ozzy. I'm not for sure where you're from, but I can't live an American lifestyle for $1,000 in the Philippines. I can live in the Philippines for $1,000, but I'm not going. In some ways, you can live better, but in some ways, you can live worse. You may not have as big a place. You may not own your own car, but you could probably afford to get a driver and have somebody clean your house. But there's going to be a lot of things that are different in the Philippines than in America on $1,000. Tim lives in the Philippines and he knows what I'm talking about. What I know is how to make proper spring rolls. Well, when are you going to send me some? Meme said hello to you, Tim. New Hampshire. I'm on disability. All right. Now, I'm disabled myself, and I've lived in the Philippines. Tim lives in the Philippines currently. So if you have real questions, Tim's there. And I'll honestly tell you, depending on what your disability is, you may not want to go to the Philippines because medical is sketchy, medicine is iffy, and if you have mobility issues in the Philippines, you're not going to be able to enjoy it. Here's what I tell people. If you're going to go to a country like the Philippines where the women are beautiful, and my wife is, yes, the most beautiful Filipina ever come out of the Philippines. If you're going to go to the Philippines, if you're going to go to a country like that, that's a little rough around the edges, as I call it, you need to be able to enjoy it. Meaning, you need to be able to get around. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. Hello, Pat from Tim. Everybody saying hello. Good to see you, Tim. I can send you some with modal in it because of shipping time. All right. Man, you know what I did? I'll tell you, my wife has a couple purses and or backpacks that she uses to go to work with, And like when she works from home and takes her laptop back and forth, she uses this bigger one. And then she uses this other one. The other day, I went through her bigger one because she hasn't used it in a while. Because I thought I smelled something kind of funny in there. I don't know how long it had been in there, but I found a sandwich bag with 2 lumpia in there. That was some of the most disgusting, must have been in there a month. So, Pat, Tim is saying thank you. My glass. I've been working on my glasses. So, yeah, you can live on $1,000. But you need to think about it health-wise, because your Medicare or Medicaid's not going to work. And if you're on Medicaid, you're not going to be able to go anywhere for more than 6 months at a time because of the rules. So that's what I want you to think about. And I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just going to tell you how it is, how I think it is. Depending on what you're going to do there, are you going to be a single guy hooking up with a bunch of girls? Or are you going to have a wife? Are you going to have kids? You're going to just get a girlfriend and have a live-in? So yeah, you can do $1,000 a month. It's just different living than in America. Now, all right, I'll check my email. It's going to take me a second to pull it up. What I'll tell you guys is, from my personal experience, if you're the type that gets bored easy, the Philippines is a boring place. It can be very boring. So you're going to need to have something to do there. Because I guess unless it's your personality where you can just sit around and do nothing all day. Yeah, Tim says all depends on what your disability is. Thank you for that, Tim. I have no health insurance, long story. Well, there you go. I mean, if you're Well, you're not, you can, okay, here's what I'll say. Wow, that was my house. Here's what I'll say about that. Your medical would be cheaper in the Philippines. Okay. And I did a whole bunch of videos on insurance and all of this crap and about whether you should buy health insurance if you're going to live in the Philippines or not. And I vote no. I vote you save up enough money and you can pay your own medical costs in the Philippines because it is way, way, way lower than what's in America. Without problem. I really believe that. But if you got to have a major surgery, you're screwed. Do you really want to have heart surgery in the Philippines? Do you want, you know what I mean? So that's what you got to think about. But you can get away with not having health insurance living in the Philippines and pay for your pay for your own health out of pocket. You can do that. Tim, do you agree or disagree with that? Ozzy, I can walk decent. I have MS when I was in an accident and head injury. All right. Can be expensive without insurance depending on your location. It can. And you can buy Phil Health, right? You can get Phil Health. But if all you're doing is going to the dentist once in a while, you know, getting a little bit of, you know, if the medicines are available in the Philippines, some are not. Some are hard to get. Some common ones you can get, and they're fairly cheap. But if you need a lot of medical attention, then the Philippines probably it's not for you, because it wasn't for me because I have to have so much medical. So I'm trying to find your email, but I'm not seeing it. There it is. All right. All right, so that's kind of what I would tell you. If you need a lot of medical attention, then the Philippines may not be for you. But if you don't, then, you know, all right, you can get away with it. You got to be able to walk in the Philippines. You got to be able to be mobile, without question. I think is one of the most important things. Because sitting around doing nothing is no good. No good at all. Being miserable health-wise in the Philippines is no good either. Meme, you did a very good job on your spring rolls, buddy. It looks like, to be honest, I don't think you made those, Meme. I don't believe you. I think you bought those at a restaurant. They're too uniformed in size and shape. I believe they were manufactured and sold to a restaurant, Meme. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. So, Pat says, it got to be right back. All right, buddy. So, do you know which part of the Philippines you might like to consider living in? So, you know, we were in Cebu. My wife's from Cebu. Right now, I think Cebu's drying out. Manila seems to be underwater. Tim, is Manila still flooding? Thanks, I guess that's a compliment. Yeah, well. If you need life-saving surgery, it's best to come to Germany. We have the best doctors and equipment. It's expensive for foreigners, but what does life cost? Life costs $2.99. In many cases of the Philippines, there are not many good times. That's correct. I had a problem with that. I don't know the Philippines at all. All right, Ozzy, so you're just starting your investigation. Well, one thing I would do is most of the Philippines is flooding. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you a couple little things. But Ozzy, one thing I'll tell you is it's great that you're investigating. And I'm going to encourage you to do that. I'm going to encourage you to make some friends that live there, that come to channels like this. You're going to get a lot of them feed you a bunch of shit. They're going to tell you all this stuff. The best thing to do is not to believe any of us. We're all full of shit, all right? Do your own research. Listen to all of us. Take the best, the worst, the most consistent things. What people are saying repeatedly, if you hear it over and over and over again, then it's probably the truth. Yes, Tim, I know, we were seeing that. Bida is in the house. Rabudida? Is that how you say that? Thank God I found you. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for the thumbs up and subscribing and liking and sharing. I want to move to either NY. I wouldn't move to either one of them. NY, New York City's garbage, slum. Los Angeles is disgusting. Why? Let me ask you this, because I know I'm being a little hard on those two nasty, dirty, filthy, gross cities that most Americans wouldn't want to live in. So let me ask you this. Why do you, my friend, want to live in either one of those two cities? What is it? Did you see something on the internet or the TV that sounded cool? Why do you want to live in those? And then I'll help you. I'll give you some great information. Is that Scott in the house? Hello, buddy. Scott, expat in the Philippines. Good to see ya, brother. Good to see you, my friend. Everybody said hello. And that's right. Don't move to either one of them. I'm back. Hey, Scott. So that's kind of my question for you. Is don't believe any of us about anything. Do your own research and homework. Welcome back, Pat, from Tim. But the Philippines can be a great place, but it's not America. It's not Canada. It's not Germany. It's not Australia. It's not Japan. It's its own country and its own thing, its own vibe. A lot of great things in the Philippines. I really enjoy the Philippines, but I hate the Philippines in the same breath. I love and hate the Philippines, just like I love and hate America. But it's for different reasons. Who would love to live in America these days? Well, I think it depends on what you want. You know, if you want good health care, America's getting better. I know maybe you don't like the administration that's going on, but gas prices are down, egg prices are down, the stock market's going bonkers, which is great. The interest rates are getting ready to drop, which is going to drive the real estate market. So if you're not a deadbeat living on welfare, America's getting better. So Sanders in the house. Good to see you, brother. How are you? Everybody subscribe to each other. By the way, if you're not friends with each other, please do that. And remember, we're saying goodbye to Hulk Hogan today. If anybody has anything about that. But all of you folks, Ozzy, make sure you subscribe to Tate and Tim and Pat and everybody. You guys all subscribe to each other. You'll learn a lot for some of these guys. So, and Scott, expat in the Philippines. That's great too. A lot of great information. So, Philippines can be a great place, but you got to put your expectations into the Philippine place. If you can handle living like a Filipino or a Filipina, then sure, it can be really good. If you can lower your expectations. But if you're expecting 911 to come and get you, it ain't going to happen. If you're expecting to have electricity all the time, it's not going to happen. If you're expecting to have good water, it's not going to happen. If you're expecting for the chickens to be quiet, it's not going to happen. But if you want a very friendly society, wonderful people, a lot of rain and humidity, and sometimes sometimes a lot of fun, then the Philippines can be for you. It all depends on what you're looking for. Pat, thank you for subscribing to this channel. Appreciate that. We all need to grow. Oh, I didn't know that. Chuck Mangini passed away yesterday. I didn't know that. I just saw Ozzy and Hulk Hogan and the guy from the Huskables. Thank you. I am from Morocco. Ooh. Welcome anytime. If you come, I'll let you know and tell your mom, ooh, now, man, I'll pack my bags. I'll be in Morocco tomorrow. I like, Moroccan food, the little I've had. I've probably never had real Moroccan food. But I'm happy to have that. But if you want to come to, but my question still stands for you. Why do you want to come to America? What is it? And we will help you. We got a lot of great information here that can help you out, figure out why you want to come to America and what's best. What are you going to do in America? Thank you, Pat. So, I don't know. I mean, Tim has been living in the Philippines for 10 or 11 years now, right, Tim? Pat's been to the Philippines. Sanders, my good buddy out of Texas, has been to the Philippines. He brought back a Filipina, just like me. And Pat had so we like it. Cool kid is new. Wow, nice to have you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. And yes, the super chats are open. I'm trying to raise money to buy my wife a house. If anybody wants to do that, Ozzy, just subscribe to YouTube channel. Thank you for doing that. So 13 years. All right, so Tim's been in the Philippines 13 years. So that's longer than I've been married to my Filipina. And yes, I said my Filipina. I don't care if you like that or not. It doesn't matter. Eat your vitamins and say your prayers, bitches. So, same as Berlin. You've been in Berlin 13 years. Cool kids. Oh, nice guy. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you. If you guys have a channel and all of that, let us know so we can check them out. So, hey, anybody in here from the Philippines? Did you guys know Hulk Hogan? Hey, meme, over in Europe, does people know who Hulk Hogan is? Or is he only truly an American icon? Is he just the American icon? Or is he a worldwide superstar like Billy Graham? Thank you. I was just going to ask the name of your channel. All right. So Osby Crosby, let's see. You have a YouTube channel then. I'll put you up. Let me go check your channel out. Let me see what's going on in your channel. So you only got 48. So you're just kind of getting started. Looks like you're doing some boating and some fishing. Nice. All right. We'll check your channel out in a little bit. I'll go and subscribe to you the right way. Scott says here, Cool Kid says, I lost my dad at 10. All right. My mother died when I was 6.5, I think. So I understand about losing a parent when you're a child. I do. We know Hulk Hogan. Yes. Hi, Ozzy from Scott. Sorry to hear that, Cool Kid. Yep. Sad when a youngster loses a parent, without question. Very sad. Very sad it is. But it's hard to be mean like this, but it is what it is. It happens to all of us at some point in time. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Scott, I think I missed you. Scott says, the Philippines is a beautiful and lovely place to visit. Go visit first. Yes, absolutely, 1,000%. Go visit the Philippines. Before you deciding to move there permanently, you need to check things out, because if you are an impatient person, it might not be for you. I would agree with that. I'm an impatient person. My problem is not the fact that I'm so much impatient. It's the fact, I'll be honest with you. One of my problems living in the Philippines is I can't do anything. I can't get anything done. My wife has to do everything. So she has to make the phone calls and send the messages and do the banking. And that drives me crazy, because I like to be active. I like to do things. I like to hire contractors. I like to negotiate. I like to figure things out. In the Philippines, my wife does it all, and I sit there like a bump on a log. And then she comes and tells me, and we agree, and then she goes back, and I hate that. That drives me crazy. All right. Our deepest sympathy, Scott says, yes, indeed. My father died before he was born. This is another story. Oh my God, me. Hi, Scott. It's getting hot outside. It is, Cool Kid. Very hot. 96 degrees where I'm at. It is, what time is it? 6:04 where I'm at. In the evening in the United States of America. I am very impatient, Tim says. I am too. My wife got mad at me yesterday a little bit. It's cold here in the morning. Oh, Scott says it's cold there. I would not say that, Tim. I'm still dealing with the constant rain. We have 18 degrees here. Ooh, summertime. You guys, if you've been following me this year, I've had a lot of problems with my lawn mowing staff. My people that mow my yard, I fired them, hired another one, fired his ass. Now I've hired my third one. And the third one's actually the first one that I rehired that I had for years. And he told me he was going to be here today, on Thursday. Today's Thursday, by the way. They showed up yesterday, and I didn't have any cash for them. And I told him, and my wife says, well, I got cash you can pay. I said, no, you don't understand. He told me he's going to be here Thursday. He doesn't get paid this week because he told me Thursday. Today is Wednesday. I didn't go to the bank to take cash out to give him. So now he's going to have to wait until next week for me to pay him for this week because you're supposed to do what you say you're going to do. Brother, you got to do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to be here on Wednesday, you be here on Wednesday. So, let me change hats. Anybody like this hat? How do I look? Do I look taller or shorter? So, 18 degrees and constant rain. I don't have to fill up my pool. The rain does it for you. Yeah, I know. I had a swimming pool. We had a saltwater pool, and I liked it, but I hated it. And I would never own a pool again unless I lived down where Hogan lives in Florida, because otherwise it's too much work. So, if you're impatient and everything works on Philippine time, if they say they're going to be at your house at 10 o'clock to do something, well, good luck if they show up that day at all. And that's something that drives me a little crazy because in my field of work, when I was working, I believed, very importantly, that if you say you're going to be somewhere at 10 o'clock, then you're sitting out in your car at 9:45 waiting to meet them at 10 o'clock. You know, I'm one of those weird people. Aerodynamic, I can't even talk today. Aerodynamic. Yes, you see this wind scoop? It doesn't quite match my shirt though. It doesn't have the colors. I don't know if I have any other hats that would match. That's close to me. That look better? The other one look better. I love water. I grew up in water. We love the water. I love the water. I want to live on the water. That's why I'm e-begging for somebody to help me buy my wife a house so that we can live on the water. I just can't get anybody to give me the money. Hey, these match my glasses a little bit. Yeah, you weigh up. Let me read. Yep, you weigh up what you do here in America, and it ain't the same thing. You have to take a number, which I think is better and fair. Take a book, look at your Facebook while waiting. Yeah, it's not the same. America's way more efficient, and I do believe the corruption over the years have gotten better. You know, years ago, and Tim can probably attest to this, that in the early days, when we all went to the Philippines, camera's cooking, driving me crazy. If you needed to get something done, you could just throw out a few extra pesos and you get moved to the front of the line. But it's sad that you have to do that because the other side of that is, well, they're going to drag their feet until somebody gives them more money. And then all of a sudden, hey, yes, we can take your request to have water turned on now versus 2 months from now. You know, so I think that's gotten better in the Philippines. But yeah, you got to be really patient in the Philippines. In America, we just play on our phone while we wait 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, we are spoiled in the fact that I can get anything done pretty quickly and get it done on the phone and or on the websites. No, I am not in the Philippines currently. We are currently in the United States. My wife's from Cebu, the Philippines, which is apparently flooded. I like Manila. Tim is currently living in the Philippines. A lot of the other guys have Filipino wives and or Philippine connections. So I'm in the Philippines, that's right. So Tim, how's it in the Philippines today? Did I ask? So we have a love-hate relationship with the Philippines. We do. As, you know, foreign men, we love the women. Most of us like the food. I'm not going to say we love the food, but we like the food. I love the fact that the food is so much healthier in the Philippines. You can eat like a pig and not gain weight, unlike, you know, us fat people. You know, in America, you eat one hamburger and you've gained 42 pounds. So, but you can eat a whole chicken in the Philippines and not gain weight. Well, AM, we have land in the Philippines and we've lived in the Philippines. We don't know, to be honest, if we would ever live there full time again. At this point in time, we would not. Because one, we're enjoying the United States. We're enjoying traveling to other parts of the world. That's easier from here. we're enjoying me having medical coverage. I got to have a pacemaker changed out in a couple months. So my wife has a really good job that she enjoys. It pays her good money. So right now, no, but we do have land and we have plans to either build rental properties and or a retirement home, but we don't know. The answer is we don't know. We're going to go back in the year 27, and part of our plan to go back is to assess whether we're going to build a retirement home and split maybe 5 and 7 or something like that. So that's it. Let me get caught up here. Meme says, when you ever come to Germany, we will go to Therm Ergren. There is water for all of us. Please research this. And okay, I'll research it. Let me write it down. I'll have to research it. Me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of American food to eat in the Philippines. There's, I'm not saying there's not. There's definitely you can eat anything you want. Now, if you're a cheese whore, my collar messed up. If you're a cheese whore like me, you're not going to find high quality cheese in the Philippines. Anyway, my shirt's all messed up today. Let me fix my collar because I don't want to look like a scruff. There we go. So, right. So there's certain things that but you can buy potato chips, you can buy whatever you want for the most part. Yes, the only problem in the Philippines is medical, but everything else is good living. Well, I think it can be a good living depending on your perspective. So, things can be depending on where you want to live. There's a huge difference, just like in America. If you want to live in the province or if you want to live in the city, big difference. You got to decide kind of what you want out of life. If you're a big city person and you like chaos and smells and stinkiness and trash and garbage and diapers everywhere, the city life's good for you. The people are good, but the environment's a little rough. If you live out in the country or the province, it's kind of the same. It's a big difference. It's a slower pace of life. But you're not going to have the amenities that you do in the city. Are dentists goodest in the Philippines? Now, let me say this. I don't think there's anything wrong with the doctors in the Philippines. I think they're educated, and I think they're fine doctors. I think dentists that are trained are fairly fine. I would go with a good one, do the reviews. So, but the equipment can be the problem. Lacking of equipment and services. Because you got to understand, if you're a really, really good doctor, why would you stay in the Philippines? You can go pretty much anywhere else in the world, right? But I want to say that I think they have good staff and caring staff, but your medical condition it's just not apples to apples. We have white, and here's what I'll tell you. Why medical costs so much in America is because we have, I went to I'll just give you an example. Years ago, when I was first being diagnosed with heart failure, I went over to the Oklahoma Heart Institute, or Center, whatever it's called. And I was shocked in this building. The building was fancier than some hotels I've ever been in. And they boasted that they had over $1 million of artwork up on the walls. Yeah, okay. Now we know why health care is so expensive. If you go to the Philippines, you got to bring your own helper. You got to get somebody to run down to the pharmacy for you. You got to bring your own assistants. You're not weighted on hand and foot, and that's a big difference, why the cost is so much. There is good medical, Tim says, but it can be expensive. Scott says when Scott here, we went to NIB and wait for Arlene's birth certificate, NIB, and then we had to go back the next day for it. Yeah, because you couldn't just ask and for it to be ready. You got to go make a public appearance and say, hi, I need to have the birth certificate. And they, okay, great. Come back tomorrow. And by the way, did you slip me any extra pesos? It's kind of like getting a documents in the Philippines can be pretty rough. Pat says, I like the rural areas. The Philippines is also the city areas. I'm not a city person, but I hate the country. I hate big cities and I hate the country life. I'm a middle of the line person. I like beach resorts. I want to live in a beach resort. You know, that's more my vibe. I'm more of a, medium-sized, small city where you have everything within about an hour's drive. A few other places, go, sister, doctors here in the U.S. suck. Doctors can suck anywhere, and if you have a sucky doctor, I recommend that you fire your sucky doctor and get a better doctor. Don't tolerate a sucky doctor. I don't do it. I have fired doctors. I'm the same way. Yes, says Ozzy. Because I agree with you, the hospitals in the city are okay, but the nurses and doctors are great. But in the Philippines, you have to be careful if you're A4. Oh, yeah. One, they're going to take advantage of you. They're going to jack the price up. Without question. You got to pay the skin tax. And two, remember, Tim is saying that? Oh, yeah, Tim is saying, just remember, the saying is hurry up and wait in the Philippines. The other thing I was going to say, you got to pay your medical bill before you can leave in the Philippines, unlike America. Not into the city and not into the living in a tent. You got that right, brother. That's where I'm at, man. Scott says, hello to you, Gogo Bobo sister. Good to see you, he says. Nice to have you on David's channel. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. So, living in the Philippines is going to be great. It's going to be miserable. It all depends on your perspective. Now, look, I know a lot of guys over the years that live in the Philippines, that have lived in the Philippines, that no longer live in the Philippines. And let me change hats again just because I feel like it. Today's a change the hat type of thing. I don't like this hat, though. Look, and I'll be honest with you, and you guys all know I'm very opinionated, and I try to speak to my truth. If you're a deadbeat American and nobody loves you in America, nobody wants you around, your kids don't like you, the ex-wife thinks you're disgusting, maybe going to the Philippines is a good place. You can start over and you can find somebody who will like you, especially if you can pay your bills and maybe give them a little money. So if you're in one of those situations where you're unhappy, but you got to understand, if you're unhappy, and I don't like this hat. If you're unhappy in America, you need to figure out why. Relocating to Germany and hanging out with Meme doesn't mean I'm going to be happy. That's what you have to ask yourself. What makes you unhappy? Is it the lack of money? Is that your only motivation? Is it looking for what make you having a life partner be better? Is that what make you happy? So you got to ask yourself that. What is it that makes you miserable? Or what is it that would make you happy? Or what do you think will make you happy? Because whatever problems you have in America, you're going to have in the Philippines. When I go to Germany, it's going to be the same thing if I go to Germany. If I go to Italy and live there, it'd be the exact same thing. Because most problems are psychological, right? They're internal with us. If all you're looking for is cheap women and cheap booze, because you're one of those people, then maybe the Philippines is a good place for you until it's not. And here's what you have to understand. You just, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being too, you can fool around and find out in the Philippines just as easy as anywhere. If you're hustling women and playing their mind, playing the games with them, you can find yourself in a bad situation. If you're allowing women to do that to you, you can find yourself in a bad situation. Now, if your thing is ladyboys, well, there you go. Maybe Taiwan is the place. Happiness comes from within, yes. AM says, everybody will love you in the Philippines because they always have expectations for you. I was going to do a little funny thing, but I don't have a wallet in here. Everybody will love you as long as your wallet can open up in the Philippines. If you can open this wallet up, everybody's going to love you. You'll have more friends and female friends than you can imagine. So it's not the place or the people around. It's not. It's not. I like the beach area as well. I was in the hospital at Mactan Island. That's where we lived 3 times and found them great. I agree. Great people. They always sit my nieces to get my meds. That's correct. You got to have somebody there. Diarrhea, sugar, disabilities, and bronchitis were 3 of the issues there. Yeah. So what I would say, if you're going to go to the Philippines, what we do, or what I've done with my health, because I have a lot of health issues, is whenever and even if we're going to go on a cruise in a few months, I'll go to my doctor and I'll make him juice me up, man. I get my doctors to vaccinate me, to hypernate me, to vitamin C me, stick me with everything they got, soup me up for the travels. So I'd recommend that, be in great health. If you're not in good health, why go? Because your health's not going to get any better unless you're talking about just eating the better food. So, because food is better in the Philippines. I'll say that. Beach baby, yes, he's a beach baby. I'm a beach baby, baby. Ozzy says, I'm 57, I want peace and quiet. Well, you can find peace and quiet in the Philippines, but you may be a lot lonelier than you think. It's one thing a lot of people understand. Peace and quiet and living the beach life in the Philippines sounds good until you actually do it. I have no problem with the doctor. Yeah, I think the doctors are fine. I'm just saying the infrastructure, right, Scott? The infrastructure, the medical infrastructure in the Philippines is nowhere near like it is in the poorest states in America. We lived, man, I can't, give me a minute, Scott. We lived in 2 different places. We actually lived down in Magdawi. We lived in Mandawi. Then we moved over to the island and lived in a neighborhood. It'll come to me in a minute what neighborhood it is. And then when Typhoon Odette hit us, we moved from the first house because it had ghosts in it. And we lost a bunch of money on that. And then we moved to this neighborhood, rented a little house. I can't remember, damn. And then when Typhoon Odette hit and wiped us out, when we finally got a chance, we had to move into a condo and on there in Mactan, man, I'm having problems today, guys. Scott, where all the condos are, right? Where all the condos are. We rented a condo there until our house was safe enough to move back into. So that's what we had to do while we paid double the rent. So, and looking at houses in the Philippines, ouch. Craig's in the house. Good morning, all from the great land of Australia. Yeah, I would never buy. I mean, we own being married, my wife will own whatever she wants to own in the Philippines. But if you're going over there, I would just rent if you're going to do that. And I would never buy my girlfriend a house or a piece of land or anything in the Philippines. You need to buy your wife's stuff, but not your girlfriend's. Everybody ever say hello, good morning, Craig. The Australian government is what's pissing me off at the moment. What happened, Craig? Tell me. Do you need me to get a plane and come over there? Do you need me to do that, Craig? Because I can do it. Just send me some money. What's going on with the government? Internet good there? If you're going to try to work online, good luck. But if you want to fart around, yeah, it's okay. But you're going to have a lot of power outages, brownouts. I would give it a 50-50. I give American internet 90-10. I'd give the Philippine internet 50-50. I don't know. Tim, what do you say? Scott, what do you guys say about the internet? We are up near Mactan General Hospital, not far from the Grand Mall. Yes, I know the Grand Mall. Man, my brain's farting today. Yes, uploading and downloading takes time. Yes, it does. And you need to have some backups and some battery packs and some other things. So, Brother David, did you and Lorelai use it? No. Well, we did, but the realty stuff is sucky in the Philippines. It's a scam. It's a hustle. You're going to get a lot of people who are not real estate agents that are kind of more like pretend real estate brokers. They're handlers, but they're not real estate agents. But they're going to say they are, but they're not. And they're going to try to be a middleman between you and a real estate agent so they get a cut of the pie. So if you're going to use a real estate agent, I would find one who you know for sure absolutely is a legitimate real estate agent, and that's how you want to go. Craig is saying, new e-safety legislation passed, enacted on December 27th. Everyone's going to have to provide ID to connect to the internet. Basic, no shit, really? That doesn't sound very good, Craig. So basically what you're saying is everybody who wants to get on the internet has to prove what? So that, I mean, they got to prove, is it like an age verification? Or they just want to know who's surfing what, doing what, so they can track them. I don't know about your constitution, but it kind of sounds like Big Brother wants to spy on you better. It's okay when you're on Facebook, but uploading, yes, it does. You got to plan for it. You really do. Question, yes. Proven age, yes, it is. Yeah, it sounds like not good. I don't know. I don't know if I like that, Craig. I don't think that's a good thing, Craig. The meme says the mobile internet in the Philippines is very good. I see it daily. Are you on Pornhub again, meme? Is that what you're talking about? You know? Yeah. Yeah, what he's saying is if you are a blogger or try to upload videos, man, it takes forever. If you want to download something to watch, you got to plan for it. But if all you do is send emails, you can get away with the internet. Okay, if you want to surf it and order things off of Lazada, yeah, but the internet's just hit or miss. Just to be honest, it's hit or miss. It is. There's a lot of times we had no internet, and there's a lot of times I didn't have internet for almost 4 months after Typhoon Odette hit. Craig, I wonder, can you use Starlink? Can you get the Starlink, Elon Musk's Starlink, and bypass that whole system? I have 2 cousins that are real estate agents, Scott says. Nice, good. So maybe you can share those with Pat. But Pat, why do you want to buy a house in the Philippines? You're in America. You're going to get you a hot woman and you're going to bring her to America. Because with your health, I know you do what you want to do, Pat, but I recommend it, brother, that you, with your health, you gotta think hard and long about going and living in the Philippines. Because that way you can live your life to the fullest. So, I have YouTube and Gab. I don't know what Gab is, but okay. Meme says, I'm on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, Netflix. When watching Netflix, we would have to sit a lot and let it generate. We'd have to sit in a lot. Or generate, what do they call that? Buffer, load, whatever you want to call it. To have a place for a vacation. All right. So you're looking at maybe just buying a condo, Pat? Is that what you're kind of thinking? Maybe you just get a condo over there? Versus buying, because you can't buy land anyway. So Pat, you can't buy land. If you ever get married again, your wife can buy land. My wife owns the land, and I have survivor benefits as a husband to that land. But you could buy a condo, I guess. I asked him, is that PlayStation? I play games with my son. And you guys in the Philippines, what do you think about the PlayStation action? Is it strong enough to stay in touch with the family playing PlayStation? I've never played PlayStation, so I don't know how that works in the internet. Regular house? Wow. She can? All right. Pat, don't be sending any money to buy a house until you're married, all right? Pat, listen to me. Remember, I'm the tropical shirt-wearing guy that has a hat. You got to remember to listen to me. I know what I'm talking about because I wear a hat. And don't buy a condo as an investment. I agree with that. Yeah, yeah. After you get married, it's okay. Never buy anything in the Philippines until you're married. Yeah, you don't want to buy it as an investment. You want to buy it as a place to go and stay in for 4 or 5 months and then fly back to America, because that's what we've thought about doing, except for we own a land and may build a house. So, no option. Time to take a stand. 50 mil fine per breach for Google. My God dang. Craig. And people are okay with this shit in Australia? I mean, why isn't everybody rioting the streets going, why are you doing this to us? And you can't bypass it by using the satellite Starlink system? Huh. Yeah, you got to get married. All right, Pat. I just, I know you get excited about them pretty women. Woohoo! Pretty women. So, all right, good. All right, I'm just making sure you're listening. So, Scott, how do you do your Xbox? Can anybody help Ozzy? Because that's a big deal for him. How do you work the Xbox in the Philippines? Because I really don't know. My wife for Christmas bought me one of those goggle thingies, but it hurts my eyeballs, so I don't use it. Those virtual reality things that you put on your head and play stuff. But I don't even know where it is. I haven't used it since, January. Yeah, it sucks big time. Thank you, meme. Appreciate that. Because us men who wear hats are smarter, right? You know that, right? Oh, somebody in a truck driving around my yard going, hey, maybe I can put a sign in his yard. No, you can't. Scott says, Pat, it depends on where you are and what area you want to live in. An island, and Scott's right, to be honest, in fairness. If you're living in a little remote island, you're going to have a tougher condition than living in Manila and or Cebu City or, without question. Scott's absolutely right. Your best option is to live where people are and, and the infrastructure is, to be honest. Well, I have to talk, Scott, if you know real estate, someone that knows in the Philippines. Good. You guys share information. That's great. Got a pass with no exposure on a non-electric safety council. Uh-oh. To protect young people from bullying. Well, now this sounds like they kind of went a little too far. It's great. But to protect people from bullying, especially young people. But to invade the privacy of everybody else, and to do that, maybe, that's not the right way to go either. There has to be a happy balance in there. Meme says, I wear a black hat. Do I got a black hat? I got a black hat somewhere. I just can't find it. Oh, Scott. Yes. But he's right. It really is all about that. I wear all black, technicolor. All right. So he's Johnny the Cash. Scott expat in the Philippines. Hey, Craig. Good to see you, buddy. How are you doing? So that's my recommendations. I don't know. I look back about my experience, and we made mistakes living in the Philippines, and I'll take the blame for it. I lost $125,000 in our move back and forth. I did. My assets went down, or what do we want to call that? What term do I want to use? My net worth went down by $125,000. So in the process of moving there and coming back. So we made a lot of mistakes. And part of it was my wife and I weren't on the same page. 2, I went over and I wasn't healed up from surgery yet. 3, I'll tell you, we should have bought a beach resort, a business. My wife should have bought a business of some kind that I could have been a part of quietly to have something to do. Because my personality as a former teacher, as somebody who's always involved in shit, sticking his nose in business, going places, doing things, and being somewhat important in a small, a little fish in a little pond type thing, but being involved, sitting around in the concrete jungle, that was my driveway, my yard, sitting out on a little bitty 4-foot by 6-foot patio in the condo was not my cup of tea. just was not my cup of tea. And I was always told, no, 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 you can't go over there. It's too dangerous. No, 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 you can't go over there. It's too dangerous. You can't go anywhere by yourself. It's too dangerous. I'm like, well, fuck. Why am I here then? So, very frustrating for me. And then two, of course, was the money issue. Everybody asking for money. The other thing was being stared at a lot. Being a big fat white guy, you definitely stick out. So, let me get caught up here. So, hello, Scott from Craig, Tyler Dixon, them. Tyler's in the house. Hello, Tyler. Hi, Tyler from Scott. Hello, Craig, Tim, on your left. Hello, Tim. No, that's not a black hat. This is blue. See, it's blue denim. I don't like this hat because it's a Levi hat. One, it's really, really thick. But two, it's too big. I don't like it. So it stays on my fishing hook. Yeah, I agree with that. Pat says, don't like condos. Yeah, condos suck. Now, if you're only going to be in them for a short time, hey, they're great. Get everything you need. We took our dogs with us, which we would never, since, we only have one dog now. My dog died. So we were happy to do it. We spent a shitload of money on our dogs, and I mean a shitload of money. But we wouldn't have gone anywhere without our dogs. So, problematic, a lot of problems. But Tim's right. You got to go visit places and figure out what you go. You got to make friends. And you can't trust the women folk in the Philippines and you can't trust people like me. Tyler says, then why am I smiling and drinking cupcake tea? I don't know what that is. So you like to drink cupcakes? Is that what you're saying? I don't know what you're saying, Tyler. But as long as you're happy, Tyler, that's all that matters. I think you just got to have something to do that makes you happy. Thank you all for the thumbs up. You can buy land like I did after we were married. Yes. We bought it off her cousin. Clear title is a must. Legal clear title. And it's not like in America where you just go get a title company to do a title search. And location where you want to buy is important. Then get a land surveyor to check your land after. Absolutely. But Scott, you and I both, our wives own land, and we have husband rights to it. But neither you or I own the land. Unless our wife dies, then we have controlling interest in to do what we want to do with the land. But if I remember reading the laws correctly, for instance, if the land we own, if my wife died and I didn't, and I lived in it, say I was going to live there by myself or whatever, and I was going to live there until I died, I could do that. But, I don't think I could pass it on to if I remember right, I would have to pass it on to a Philippine citizen. So I couldn't pass it on to my brother. 100% Scott, yes. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tyler. My dog dying has been one of the worst times of my life. I don't really care when people die because I don't like people. But my dog, kept me alive, kept me from unliving. And she died a few months ago, and I had dreams about her today. One of the hardest things I'm dealing with is the loss of my dog. So, the world is an illusion. Trust no one, absolutely. Trust no one. Believe no one. The truth is out there, but you're not going to find it because the aliens are the ones that have it. But, I don't know. I don't know. Here's what I see. I think, and I've said this in a lot of videos over the years, but here's something, and you guys can agree or disagree, and thank you all for being here, by the way. Once again, let's say goodbye to Hulk Hogan as he passed away with a bunch of other people, Ozzy Osbourne and stuff this week. But here's what I think. I think, one, people that served in the military do well living in foreign countries. I think alcoholics, as long as they have alcohol, they do well living anywhere, including under a bridge. So if you're one of those, I think you do well in the Philippines. I want to say, and I'm not saying, but if you're a high functioning person in your own world, then you may be disappointed living in a lot of third world countries because you will no longer be high functioning. I don't like people either, just humans. There you go, buddy. Humans or hummus. I like hummus. I ate hummus the other day. I don't know what flavor it was, but we had hummus when we went and ate pizza the other day. At one of those yuppie pizza restaurants. It's different. Yes, Tyler. So, yeah, that's what I want you guys to think about. And if you're thinking about the Philippines, I think it's great, but you definitely need to make friends and don't get suckered into the girls that you meet. We can introduce you. I know several girls. Hey, how old are you? I forgot how old you were. You told me like 47. How old are you? 50s? So I know a 21-year-old Filipino that lives in America who's looking for a boyfriend. She lives in America already. There's a lot of us who have single Filipinas that we can turn you on to. And here's what I recommend that. If you truly want to meet a girl, one way to do it is to ask around like Scott and Tim and you make friends with people and maybe their wives can recommend that you friend with somebody and you kind of see how it goes. And you learn about the culture and you learn about the place. My cousin Scott says we paid up to $18,000 Australian for 4 square meters of our labor. We paid $3,000 for 100. Yeah, Scott, I'm with you, man. I says, I don't drink much, never been in the service. Well, is it just so maybe that's the question for you, Ozzy. Is it just the thought of a warmer environment, a cheaper environment, a friendly environment? What's the draw to the Philippines? And I know you're just starting your journey. Olives? I don't know what this one was. I really don't. Yeah, ours died on my wife's lap in the car. So she was under heart failure for a while and she was under treatment. And we went on a road trip. We went on a trip to Alabama and down to the beach. And her heart was getting 10 times worse, more than the vet said. And we were rushing her to Pensacola, Florida from Alabama to emergency vet. And she died on us in the car. She did say goodbye to Lily, our other dog, wiener dog that was in the car. She said goodbye to my wife, and she said goodbye to me. And she died in my wife's lap on the way to the vet, about 15 minutes out from the vet. Now, I recognize the fact that we would have to put her down anyway. But it's still the worst shitting thing that has happened in a very, very long time. So, Scott says, I drink whiskey and beer, but not much now. I like, to be honest, maybe I'm a foo-foo guy. I like martinis and really good quality drinks. I like Red Horse beer, but I like a good mixed drink, I gotta admit. Yeah, just talk. I'm sorry to hear that, Tyler. Yes, we have around 400 square meters now. That's good. It's a good sized lot. Good sized piece of land. It's better way for her, David. Yes. No, it's better. It just, and I know people don't understand and I can't explain it, but that dog is the only reason I'm alive today. I can tell you that. So, and only having her for 8 years really sucks. Don't know olives? No, I know olives, but hummus isn't made from olives, right? Hummus is a bean, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like black olives. I eat them all the time. I have a friend that lived there. He married a woman from there and had a son, moved back to Massachusetts so his son could go to school in the USA. And he said he loved it there. Well, here's what I'll say, and this is kind of where I was going with that, and I forgot to go there because I get sidetracked easily because I got a squishy brain. I was going to say this. The majority of men that I have met over the last, since I was 8. I've been around the Philippine community since I was 18 years old. All right. So I've known a lot of guys get married to Filipinas and go live there. I know a lot of them in and out. I'm gonna say this just as a rough number. I bet you 75% of the men, except for Tim, that I've ever known who's lived in the Philippines has moved back to their home countries. So 75% or 25% don't. And I know some others that are living there permanently. So, and maybe that's too much. Maybe it's 60-30 or 60-40, what, I don't know. But I think the majority come back to their home countries after a while. Some of them tell me it's because of boredom. Some of it's because their children, they want their children, they have a baby. So they're 55 years old, they go to the Philippines to retire and live. They hook up with a 25-year-old, they have babies. They realize they're better off coming to America, blah, 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 right? Tyler says, time longer you cab joke. I don't know what you mean. Time longer, your Roddy died 8 years ago. Casey and others had to be put down and back. Yes, I know. It's just, we had wiener dogs. We have one wiener dog left. So it's hard. I came to the Philippines for your health. Good reason to go. The weather's better. My health was better in the Philippines than in America. I'll say that. I ate better food. My mental health wasn't better, but my physical health was better in the Philippines, except for I went there pretty close after having ankle reconstruction surgery, which made getting around a freaking nightmare. Tyler says, no, I've gotten to go. Catch up later. All right, Scotty, appreciate you, Scott. Good to have you here, buddy. I have to get Mom's breakfast. Now have a great evening. Thank you. Appreciate that. Shakespeare. I know who Shakespeare was. Scott, back, take care, buddy. Scotty, see you, Scott. Appreciate you coming in, Scott. We do. Tell everybody in the family we said howdy. Good to see you today. So, yeah, I don't know. It's up to what you guys want. But I agree with the concept. Go there for a visit first. Lower your expectations, okay? Do you need a lot of money to travel there? No. Will you spend a lot of money when you travel there? Sure. Because a lot of us become like what we call weekend millionaires or vacation millionaires, where we take some money with us and we go, holy crap, look at me, man. I can have the time of my life, throwing out all this money, all these women, all this food and drink, having a great time, traveling all over the Philippines, not cost me much money. But living there is a different financial concept. It's not the same as being on vacation there. See you, Tim. See you, Pat. Bye, everybody. Bye, 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 everybody. Everybody say bye, bye, Miss American Pie. I drove my Chevy to the levee, but Hulk Hogan died the day of 71. Heart attack. Oh, I haven't Googled it. I've been busy, man. Meme. Jesus Christ, meme. Think I work for you. Holy crap, you're like my wife. Man. Like today, my wife needed me to open a jar of pickles, right? So she's in the kitchen, I'm in here, and all I hear is, can you open? What? Can I open what? What the hell are you talking about now? The largest thermal spa in the world. Let's find some images. Never tell anyone what your income is or your wealth. Or, that's correct. Never ever tell anybody how much money you have anywhere in the world. See ya from meme. Yeah, I mean, and that's great advice. And I hate to be this way, but even if you get a girlfriend and you go live with them in the Philippines, you never tell them how much you have, how much you're worth, what you have in the bank. You put a budget together and you stick to it, and you never tell them. And if there's a big medical expense, This is when you're living together. When you're just dating a Filipina, there's going to be a whole lot of times that there's going to be an emergency medical expense come up, more than likely. Now, the good ones won't do that. My wife never did that to me, but the stories are out there 99 to 1. There's going to be some kind of grandma died again this month, and I need to bury grandma again. Well, how many times in a year can grandma die? Well, she can die about 12 times a year, apparently. So you got to be aware of that. All right, so are you wanting me to show some pictures of your homeland? Man, it's a beautiful place. All right, this is what Meme, who's over in Germany, wants me to show you guys. See that? Right there is where he is. You see him right there? Right here is where he is. And he is checking out that girl right there. Scotty B, buddy, how are you? Good to see you, man. Yes, good to see you, Scotty. Everybody's hello to Scotty, man. How are things going in the land of the Philippines, my friend? Ooh-wee. Beautiful place. How are you, Scott? Appreciate you coming in, buddy. Get back to wherever I was. I don't remember where I was. There we go. All right. Got to get the thing fixed again so you guys can see how good looking I am. Ozzy, both. We have Philippine bank accounts. We also have American bank accounts. Hello, Scotty. Scotty expat in Philippines. Me and my wife sister bought our houses in Mactan Island. Yes, in our subdivision country home. There you go. Hi, Scotty Meme. Scotty B. So let me answer your question. Yes, but here's what I do. Yes, we have a bank account in the Philippines, but I keep all my money in America. You never put your money in the Philippine government or the banks. One, they do not insure the money like they do in America, okay? So understand that. So if you're going to go live in the Philippines permanently, more than likely I recommend that you have somebody, a home base of operation, a son, a brother, somebody that can get your mail for you, help you with anything going on in America that you may need help with. Two, I recommend Charles Schwab. A lot of the military guys go with the Navy Federal Credit Union. I prefer Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab I can use internationally. I can take $1,000 a day out anywhere in the world with no ATM fees. If I lose my card, they will mail me a card in whatever country I'm in whatever part of the world I'm in. So I would never give my money to the Philippine banks, no. But you open one so that if you need to use the Cash App or Gcash or whatever it's called there, guys, what's the, you can hook it to that and you can put money into that. You go to your bank, you go to the ATM, go to the ATM, I get money out of Charles Schwab. My wife goes and puts it in the Philippine bank account and she's able to use it like that. Exactly 100%. Thank you. Talking about how handsome I am. Scotty. Everybody's saying hello. Good. Hello, Craig. Craig is getting ready. Scotty, Craig is getting ready to be censored on the internet. Apparently, the government of Australia has decided that everybody has to register to use the internet in Australia. So there goes the porn industry in Australia, let me tell you. Got to go now, only have Australian bank account. There you go. And Philippines account. We have just a little bit in that account at the moment. I trust them fully. Yes. Well, and that's what we do. We have Philippine bank accounts and we keep very little money in it. So if it goes belly up or gets ripped off or hustled or scammed, we're not out that much as part of the key. And we never get, you got to have somebody you trust in your home country and somebody you trust in the Philippines. Appreciate you, Scott Expat. Yep, must be beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Pat says, yeah, well, those Australians like their porn, so you got to feel bad for them. First, I've heard that here in Australia, Craig. Yeah, he said it's going to be passed starting, I think, December the 27th or something. It starts. Cricket's in the house. Cricket, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up, the shout out. Everybody subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. We appreciate that. Remember, we are taking donations and super chats through PayPal to buy my house a wife. Buy my house a wife. My wife a house. How's that? So I'm begging to buy my wife a house, not a house, whatever. You get it, right? So I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about these days. Thank you all for the wisdom, Scott. Hey, what about my wisdom? I got some wisdom too. Jeez, come on. Nah. See you, buddy. Scott, take care. We appreciate you. You know that, right? Scotty B, we're just sitting down for breakfast. I'll see you later. All right, buddy. See you. See you later. Filipina Bai is in the house. Good morning to you. You guys all say hello to young Miss Bai. Good to see you. Mason's in the house. I like and subscribe to you. Thank you for that, Mason. We appreciate that. Young Miss Bai, how are you this evening and morning for you? How are you? How's things going? Tim says, I have a backup plan in case your American bank card is lost. Yes. Thank you, Tim, for bringing that out. You got to have backup plans. And we have that too. You can bring checks with you and have them deposited, but it takes a good 30 days for it to clear. Have a different bank, multiple banks. Have somebody who can send you Western Union and or PayCash or any of those other apps from America. So yes, you got to have multiple ways to get money in the Philippines. Absolutely, Tim. My house is your house. Your house is mine. Woohoo! I got a house in Germany. Woohoo! 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 Man, I feel, do I got to pay taxes? I don't want to pay any taxes though, meme. Can you pay the taxes and I just claim it's mine? Many uploads about it, Scott. Check out Isaac Butterfield's upload yesterday. And your thank you. All right. Whew, man, now I feel better, man. I'm starting to feel a little better there. Remember that ATM machines are not available. That's correct. Remember, and they can be spotty. They can be empty. So they can be not working, and they can be working with no money in them. So you got to remember that. And if there's an emergency, there's going to be a run on the ATMs. Deal. Nice. I like it. And that's why you lie about your money. You never tell anybody how much money you have. But you got to have money to go to the Philippines. A lot of these guys talk shit. They run their mouths about how they're going to go and do A, B, C, and D. But they don't have the American money to go do it. And I feel bad for a lot of guys like that. Because they're kind of living a fantasy, right? But here's the big thing about money in the Philippines. If you only have $1,000 a month in America or Australia or in Germany, you're still only going to have $1,000 in the Philippines. That's it. You got to understand that. Your money doesn't grow in the Philippines. A lot of guys will go there going, oh my God, I'm rich now. I'm going to eat more, drink more, smoke more, screw more. And at the end of the month, they're dead ass broke begging somebody to give them some money. You still got to manage your money. Roy Tater release. I already did. I did that the other day, man. Where were you? You should have been here. I showed everybody all the evidence. I did it already, man. Where you been? Come on, man. You're a day too late. So, well, thank you for coming in anyway. Hulk Hogan died today at age 71. If you didn't know, well, there you go. Ozzy Osbourne's died. Some other people have died this week. It's been a rough week for celebrities. So that's what we've got started talking about today was Hulk Hogan. Do you remember Hulk Hogan? Do you know Hulk Hogan, who he was? Do you like his family? Is his daughter hot? Is his second or third wife hot? Has he got any cool cars that's going to go to his nasty murdering son? Come on, what's the gossip? Pat says, I always manage my money in the Philippines. Absolutely. You got to hide that money too. Don't tell me how much. Don't tell how much you have. Well, look, here's one thing I teach expats, men that want to date Filipinas, is this. There's two words And I want you all to know this, and I know a lot of you guys do. There's two very important words when you're dating a Filipino. Two very important words. No budget. Repeat after me, class. What do? We know two main words. No budget. And here's what's funny about those words. I've learned, and I've taught other men who live around me, how to get things across to your wife about finances. And my wife's really smart and she gets it. But I can sit down and explain to her, say, honey, look, here's what we got to do. We got to figure this out. Here's where this goes. Here's the interest on this, blah, 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 blah. And she gets it all. But you know what's 10,000 times easier? No budget. Oh, okay. They get it like that. If you say no budget, they go, oh, okay. You don't got to explain to them how compound interest works or why you can't do it because you got to pay something else off for 12 years, or you're doing this or you're doing that, or the medical bill this year was $800, or my dog got ran over by a car, so I spent $12,000 last year. You just say no budget. No budget. That's it. 2 words. Another brick in the wall. No budget, buddy. No budget. Thank you all. With $1,000, you can have an apartment and groceries for a month in Germany. Nothing more. No electricity, no water, no heat, no air conditioning, but you can have a place to live and groceries. No. Well, I was thinking $1,000 for rent, and now if you're look, and I know Tim is probably still here, and a lot of other guys. If you got to pay $1,000 for rent, you're being screwed. You're being hustled. No, my friend. We paid no more than $400, and we were being hustled. So no, rent's not that bad. Now, if you're living in the inner cities, the big cities, the rent's going to be more than further out. But $400 a month in rent is should get you a really damn nice place. Yeah, no. And $2,000 is more than you need. We never spent that much living in the Philippines a month. We never did. I mean, my net worth went down by $125,000, but my bank account went up because we never spent anywhere near $2,000 a month, period, ever. And we were buying things to live there permanently, and which we sold and or gave away to friends and family when we came back to the States after the Typhoon Odette. That was still, giveawayable. So TVs, we bought all of that. So we never spent more than, we never come, and we lived on the high on the hog as much as we could, but it was after COVID, so everything wasn't opened. And then Typhoon Odette hit and everything shut down again. So we didn't get to do a lot. We did get to do some, but we would have never spent $2,000 a month. We just never did. And we lived in Mandawi, which is Cebu City, and Mactan Island, which is where the airport is. And had no. Yeah. So Tim says about $1,500 a. And Tim's living a good life. He's got a driver and a housekeeper. There's no reason to buy a car. I mean, if you get married and you're going to live there permanently and you guys are going to have a house out in the province or whatever, all right, maybe. But if you're a city dweller, nah, don't do that. That's a waste of money. I got some friends that live over there that bought expensive cars, and now they're sitting on a big old piece of metal that costs them a lot of money that barely gets driven. The better thing to do if you're going to buy a car, get a multi-cab, a couple grand. Get something used and cheap, because why would you want to invest a beautiful car in the Philippines? The roads are bad. Sidewalks are bad. The driver, you just don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, so you can do that well. I mean, if you want a scooter to ride around in, all right, not a big deal. I love the scooter. Look, I'm a gadget guy. Scott the expat showed some of his that he sent that they bought, and some of their trikes and things, and I think they're cool as hell. I wish we could have them in America, but they don't go fast enough in America, and they're not safe enough in America for American roads. But a lot of cool things that you can do transportation-wise. I found it just as cheap and easy to order Uber and to have a private driver. And we did that all the time. You know, we had private drivers, and I found it easier, safer, and nicer just to hire a private driver. Yep, I rent a house and have a driver and a housekeeper. So yeah. You know, that's my thought. Wouldn't do it. Yeah, that's not a bad life. You know, it depends on what you like to do outside. You know, I'm an outdoor guy, and even though I'm unhealthy, bad legs, bad heart, bad lungs, bad kidneys, I still like to go outside. I like to do things. And me being locked up in a concrete bunker was not my ideal dream. You have a screwdriver. No budget, buddy. No budget. No budget on that screwdriver. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. But I think you're in the right place to think about where you want to live and what you want to do and how you want to do it. You got to ask questions. So, all right, all of my friends, it's a little bit after 7. I don't know how long we've been on here. No budget. Everybody say it after me. No budget. But I'm going to wind this down so I can go for a bike ride. I'm trying to lose a little weight. So I got my e-bike charged up. And even though I got some friends going to come borrow my truck this weekend, so I don't want to go through all the hassle of putting my bike rack on it. So I'm going to go drive around my neighborhood or ride around my neighborhood and try to get a little bit of exercise. Pat says, was your house for the... Yes, hollow block. We rented a hollow block and then we had a condo. Yes. I have plates and screws in my rig, but I get around okay. Good. Now, the warm weather for me, I'll tell you, the warm weather did my body way, way better in the Philippines than I do here in America ever. So the heat and humidity, I do very well with. I enjoyed it tremendously. Made me feel better. America, the ebb and flow of the temperature hurts me. In the Philippines, it's just hot. And I do better like that, to be honest. Pin on my no budget, no budget. There you go, no budget. All right, Pat, name no budget. All right, I'm going to go for, well, I got to wait a little bit. It's still too hot. But I got a couple things I'm going to do. It's Thursday night, by the way, 7:07 p.m. July. Hulk Hogan did die today. Ozzy Osbourne died yesterday. Keep everybody in their prayers and their thoughts. Craig, we will be thinking of you and Big Brother watching you and every keystroke you make in Australia. We were thinking about coming to Australia for a cruise, but now I'm worried that they may search my search engine and see what I'm doing and spy on me. Meme, we appreciate you. Ozzy, good to have you here. Come back anytime. If you got any questions, you can find us on Facebook or just message me here. And my email is here on my page. You're welcome to shoot me an email if you got questions. So, you know, we do try to give you a lot of good information, a lot of fun information, but we also want you to do your own homework and research. I'm glad I found you, your channel. Thank you for all your wisdom and kindness. Anytime, that's what our channel is all about. Everybody that joins us have a lot of knowledge. You know, even Meme is a smart guy, you know. So we all have a lot of knowledge and we're happy to share it with you. All right. See you guys. Take care.